This model kit review is of the Ford 1929 Model A Roadster, and it is a 1/25th scale model, and it's by Revell. And here are some of the details for the car, and there's the colors needed. There's some pictures over here of the finished model. You get two different options or versions to make. Different steering wheels, different engine parts, and different subframes. So let's have a look inside. Looks like we have a lot of chrome and many sprues. Lots of things to go through. So these first sprues that we'll look at here, all made out of white plastic. And here's our engine parts, and fairly well molded. Got a fair amount of detail here with these engine parts. Here's our belt drive, main engine block with our transmission. Looks like axles here. Or drive shaft, actually. Maybe possibly exhaust parts. We'll have to look and see. Here's our chassis, and not sure what that's, if that's part of suspension. We'll have to look at the instructions and see what that's for. Looks like possibly a radiator. Here's our seat. Some engine hoses here. Maybe our firewall. And then we've got some body panels here. Looks like this is the other the other chassis. And it looks slightly different to that other one. This is closed at the top. Here we have the inside of the side walls with our the panel liner there. We've got the other seat, and looks like the other side of the radiator. And this also looks like exhaust parts. So, and over here, looks like we're going to have some wheels. So a fair amount of detail here on these wheels. And that's probably the actually, I don't know what that's going to be. Looks like a body panel of some sort. Maybe the back. That might be fuel tank. This looks like part of the chassis or subfloor. And then that's our dashboard. Here's our rear axle. This looks like this is our main body, and it looks like there's a few screws here. Well, these are actually part of our axles to put the wheels on. And then here's the main body. Fairly well molded. I don't see any major mold lines. Okay, here are our wheels or tires, and they're kind of stiff vinyl, but they've got some nice detail on them. They're kind of skinny little wheels or tires. They've got some nice tread there. Here's our glass for headlights as well as our windshield. Nicely molded with some details there. And now we look at all the chrome. And there's a lot of chrome on this car. I'm never usually a fan of the chrome painting, just because of the way it's usually molded. You have to touch up parts here and there and it looks bad. But that's a nice front grille. Here we've got our windshield frame. That is our instrument panel there. And then that looks like our suspension there. I'm not sure what these parts are. We'll have to look and see what they are in the instructions. Over here we have our wheels with some serious chrome. We've got our steering wheels there. Looks like more suspension parts here. And these are the little hubcaps that will go over the wheels. Here's the back of our lights. More parts for the wheels. More suspension parts. There's the shock absorbers and our lights. There's our stick shift over here. And here's our last sprue to look at. And we have our exhausts here. Some more engine parts. Here's our oil pan and more engine parts. Over here we have our decals, nicely printed, and I'm not sure what that's for, if that's supposed to be the side or the outside. And the white wall tires there. Let's have a look at our instructions here. So there's some details here about the car, and there's pictures of the two different versions. Here are the colors needed, and that's only if you're going to do the aqua version, which I'm not too fond of. We start off with the engine, and it tells you here which one you're building here, A or B. So this tells you here we're going to do carburetors, fuel injected, I guess. Two different options there. And finish up the rest of the engine. And then we build our chassis and subframe. And exhausts then go on. Now this is if you're building option B, you'll continue that way. Mount the engine. And B's exhausts. Then you're going to build your axle for the rear and your drive shaft. We start off with the front wheels, and those are the same for both. And we mount the front steering wheels and or steering mechanism and rear axle here with our different suspensions. Next we're going to do the radiator, depending on which version you build, and that's then mounted with all the different pipes and hoses. Then there's our stick shift. Next we put our firewall on the body, depending on which version you're building, And then the inside of the body there, doors, looks like these are the decals here. Those decals there, looks like. And then our seats go in, A or B depending on which version you're building again. Here's our dashboard and steering wheel, and then rear wheels go on like that. And then our tail lights and headlights. Now over here are is the paint and decal guide. And for some reason they say you don't use water to get these decals. It's numbers 23 and 24, and I guess that's the license plate. And here's the other optional version. And so all in all, fair amount of detail, lots of parts to build. Molding quality is actually not too bad, and decals are pretty good.